Hello and welcome. Today I have something very special to show you. It is a stitch that I call the chainless foundation stitch. And I came up with it as a result of experimenting with crochet as I normally do. I wanted to create a stitch that is easy to teach to beginners and that has multiple uses. So here I'm going to use this as a cord. It's nice and stretchy, very sturdy. I doubled up the strands to make it thicker. So that's one use for this stitch is as a cord. Then I also used it to start this project here as a foundation row. So you see this green portion here, that is the same stitch used as a foundation stitch. So this would take the place of foundation chains or even foundation single crochet. And it's just lovely. And it has a beautiful scalloped edge, as you can see right here. Here is the back side. And then finally, I used it to work in the round. I used the same stitch and I started in the middle right here and I used it to work in a round. It was very easy to do. And if you don't like the magic ring or the magic loop, this is an alternative for you. So let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to show you two methods to work this particular stitch. One is a little bit slower, but it's great if you're just starting out using the stitch. And the other one is a little faster, okay, once you familiarize yourself with the stitch. So begin by leaving yourself a tail, and then this is the working part of the yarn, right, that's attached to the ball. And so what we're going to do is cross that working yarn. We're going to make a loop by crossing that working yarn in front of the tail just like this, okay? And then from there, go ahead and grab your hook and insert it into that loop that we just made. And I'm going to cinch it up by holding it. And then I make another loop by taking that working strand and crossing it in back like this, okay? And then I'm going to put that loop right onto that hook and cinch it up a little bit. I'm going to tension my yarn. And then what I'm going to do is pinch at the bottom of those now two loops. So 1, 2, and then I'm going to yarn over and draw through the two loops. It's that simple. That's the stitch. And then to tug on that, pull it down just a little bit like that to tighten up the stitch. So that's stitch number 1. From here, you're just going to repeat. Take the working strand, cross it in back, make a loop, and then put it onto the hook, cinch it up, yarn over. Make sure you pinch the two loops so they stay open. Yarn over and then draw through those two loops. And once again, there you go. All right. Second stitch. And you just keep repeating that. So this is the slower way to do it, but it's good if you're just starting out, okay, to do it this way to familiarize yourself with the stitch. Tighten up the stitch and see how nice that is? Now, if I'm going a little bit faster, as I tension my yarn this way, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the hook underneath this back strand right here, and that crosses the yarn over. Can you see that? And now I'm just going to release that and pull it tight. And then do the same thing. Yarn, pinch at the bottom of those two loops, yarn over and draw through those two loops. See, same thing, but it's a little bit faster. That normally how I do this stitch. Make sure I'm pinching those two loops. There we go. And then tighten it up so everything is pretty much even. And see, it's the same stitch. Let's do that one more time. Take it underneath and then release it. I love how things get fiddly on camera. It's okay. And then, yeah. So you can stop right here and use this as a cord, making as many stitches as you need to make. And let me show you one thing that's important about this stitch is that if I make too many stitches, I can just take one away, just like that, right? And then I can add one back just as quickly by doing this and adding it right back. Now let's use this other foundation row. So I've made some stitches right here, some chainless foundation stitches right here. And now I'm going to, let's say I want to work in rows. So let's say my next row is a single crochet, and you can do any stitch, doesn't matter. I'm going to do single crochet. So most people would chain one, right? And they would turn. And then from here, you just work into that stitch, the first stitch of the row right there. It's that easy. And you would just continue working into the stitches as you normally would. And you get a nice, easy way to make a foundation row where you can add or subtract stitches as at will in the first in the foundation without having to chain a bunch of stitches. This is especially wonderful for large projects like blankets. Okay, I'm working in the round. Let's say I'm making a hat. I've gone ahead and made 3 stitches and I want to turn those into 6 from my first round. I've marked my first stitch is 1, 2, 3. And now on the other underside of those stitches are these little bumps right here. There's the top of the stitch. Here's the bottom of the stitch with a bump, and there's a space. Can you see that? I'm going to go right into that space. And for this, I'm going to do a single crochet. So I would go ahead and start working on the underside of those stitches into those little bumps and the spaces there. It can be a little tight, but you kind of want that, especially for a hat. Okay, you want the top to be kind of close together. So see? And then I've got one more little bump, which is right here. So let's go ahead and put that in there and make my third and final stitch on that underside. So see, that's how I can start my hat, just like that. And see how nice that is? And from there, you would just rotate and then you would work starting, that's you've completed the round, and you would work your second round starting with this stitch here. So for a hat, it would do 2 stitches, to increase the number of stitches. And look how nice that is. This is also great for toe-up socks and handbags. Please do me a favor and let me know what you think about this stitch, this technique. Comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. You have a wonderful day.